Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk all about how to do straight pulls. We're going to talk about going top to bottom. We're going to talk about going side to side. We're going to talk about the angle of the squeegee. We're going to talk about the distance of my hand from the glass. And we're just also going to talk about having a light touch. And we're also just going to go over the whole entire detailing of the window as well. Let's get going. So I've got my saturated mop here with soap and water, and so I've dunked that in a bucket. I'm just using Dawn soap. It's a very good way to begin. It's an easy solution to learn with, especially straight pulls or when we get into fanning. First, you're gonna mop the window. You just wanna make sure to get all to the edges like we talked about in the video about microfiber sleeves and T-bars. So when we do straight pulls, side to side, what I like to do for residential windows, I won't do this with commercial windows, especially during pull work because it takes too much time, but I like to do something called pre-detailing. So this is maybe your frames have a lot of dirt on it, or you just want to make sure to get some of that solution away from the side so you don't have as much to detail. So this is what I'll do for pre-detailing, is I'll just take my finger, I'll have the microfiber towel kind of on the frame, while also removing just about 1/4 inch of solution from the edges. So if I'm going side to side, I'm going to start at the top of the window, of course, and then basically, since this is already dry, I also want to dry off my squeegee rubber, and I'm just going to pull lightly across the glass. Now what I like to do for my second pull is I like to dry off the edge of the rubber just so I don't get that leading edge streak across the glass. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to feather a little bit. So I'm just rolling the squeegee rubber up and down to just get a little bit of the solution built up on there. I'm going to tilt the angle of the squeegee so that the water doesn't travel up here and create that line. I'm going to feather, angle, and pull across the glass. After we've done that, even though we did pre-detail, there's going to be some detailing left. You're going to have a cloud here. You're not probably seeing that on the camera, but you just want to, for good practice, go through and detail your edges. Now for the bottom bit of solution here on the bottom of the frame and here in the screen track and sill, I like to use kind of like a, you could use a small bath towel. This is a larger microfiber waffle weave towel, and so I like to use this just to clean up that residual solution. Just to make sure everything looks good. Now whenever I'm detailing, I'm always using a finger like this to detail. I'm never bunching up the towel. If I bunch up the towel and go like this, eventually that towel is going to be wet and you're going to leave a big streak all the way around the glass. So don't do that. Okay, let's say I'm going top to bottom. This one, I'm not going to pre-detail just to show you how much solution can be left at the top. So let's say I just feather instead of even drying the rubber, and I pull down. So what you're not seeing here is there's a lot larger of a cloud here. And I'm gonna feather a little bit, bring the squeegee down. Feather a little bit, bring the squeegee down. So what you can't see on video though, is that when you do straight pulls, you have a lot more chances of streaking, even with a good rubber. So there's quite a cloud here of water that we'll have to detail and remove. But on the sides, when doing straight pulls from the top to the bottom, there's not much left as far as that goes. Usually just a small bead. Let's talk about the angle of the squeegee on the glass. So when you're using the squeegee, you're using this sharper edge. You're not using the dull side here on the top of the rubber. So that's why you always have two sides that you can change out with the rubber. Now, when you're on the glass, I like to think of having about a 3-inch distance between the glass and the handle. When I'm doing this, I'm not white knuckled at all. I just have it between my fingers here, very lightly, right? So you can just have that nice fluid motion. Now, if I have it at a bad angle and my hand's out here more and I try to come down the glass, I miss a lot of solution. Right as I bring it close to the glass, I grab all that solution. So that's just the biggest thing, is the angle. Also making sure you're not white knuckled on it, and then also just making sure that you're using this sharper side of the squeegee rubber, not the dull side. I really find that a 40-degree handle like this and then having the inter-array brass pretty naturally puts you at that angle, so that when you have it on the glass, you're not having to be too worried about your hand out. The last squeegee handle we used was 30 degree, so you can tell that's a pretty easy handle to use. It's fixed, but it's great for residential. That's it as far as straight pulls go. Straight pulls are very basic, but really good to begin with, so you can get your window cleaning going and start to get some jobs done. So with those basic techniques, even with pole work, would be the same thing. And then just make sure you're doing good detailing. If you have any questions regarding straight pulls, please comment below. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel that dive into straight pulls, also fanning, which we'll go over next. So if you want to take a little bit, deeper of a dive into that, you can certainly look at those other videos that I'll link below in the description. I hope this helps. Have a good day. Bye-bye.